Chapter 81 Such a strange request, this is my first time seeing you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is the second time Ye Tiance has entered the Civil Affairs Bureau in his life. Last time, he married Xiao Qingcheng. I never thought that my 3-year marriage would come to a very imperfect end. Feelings are feelings, but now Ye Tiance has nothing to miss about this marriage. Let it go. Ye Tiance and Xiao Qingcheng submitted their identity documents, marriage certificates, etc. to the staff to go through the divorce procedures. The staff accepted various documents. Unexpectedly, he suddenly frowned and said, according to the latest civil code, when a couple divorces, they need to meet the divorce cooling-off period conditions. What is the divorce cooling-off period? Ye Tiance and Xiao Qingcheng both asked in unison. The staff explained patiently. The so-called divorce cooling-off period refers to a voluntary divorce by both parties. You need to apply for divorce first. If you meet the divorce conditions, the divorce certificate will not be issued first to give both parties time to calm down. Xiao Qingcheng frowned. She has been busy with her career and has never heard that there is such an outrageous rule in divorce now. As for Ye Tiance, he didn't even know about such a thing. Xiao Qingcheng asked, how long will this cooling-off period take? The staff replied, 30 days, within 30 days after we receive the divorce application, if either of you is unwilling to divorce, you can withdraw the divorce registration application. Of course, your marriage will be dissolved only if both parties are unwilling to withdraw after 30 days. Ye Tiance and Xiao Qingcheng looked at each other, looking at each other. Neither of them expected that they would just get a divorce. It's so troublesome. Do you still need time to calm down? The staff pushed all the documents back and said, your divorce application has been registered. I will give you both 30 days to calmly consider it before deciding whether to divorce. The next one. Ye Tiance and Xiao Qingcheng had no choice but to leave the Civil Affairs Bureau. At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Xiao Qingcheng hesitated and said, according to the regulations, we will wait another 30 days. Of course, during this period, if you have any property division conditions for divorce, just ask. Xiao Qingcheng can satisfy you and will try my best to satisfy you. Satisfy. Ye Tiance waved his hand and refused. I have no requirements for those external things. Haha, really? Xiao Qingcheng shook her head and sneered. I'm thinking that Ye Tiance keeps saying that he has no demands for property, so why are you still unclear about it with Han Ruoyun? Aren't you just here for other people's money? You are so hypocritical. At this time, on the road in front of the door, a Lamborghini was parked on the side of the road. A tall young man wearing a white suit got out of the car holding a bouquet of roses. It was Ji Boduan. Ji Boduan walked quickly to Xiao Qingcheng with a confident smile on his face. He said softly, congratulations on finally completing your divorce from that loser. Xiao Qingcheng was stunned for a moment. She didn't know why Ji Boduan came here. What was he doing? She asked tentatively, young Master Ji, what are you doing? Ji Boduan brought the red rose to Xiao Qingcheng and said, Qingcheng, there is something I have been holding in my heart for a long time, but because you were married, I had no choice but to restrain myself, but since you successfully divorced me today, I will no longer hide anything. Qingcheng, I like you, please be my girlfriend. The sudden confession surprised Xiao Qingcheng. For a moment, he froze in place at a loss. This scene also attracted many passers-by to watch and comment. Wow! I actually confessed my love in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. It's so romantic. Isn't this man Mr. Ji? The person being accused seems to be Xiao Qingcheng, the most beautiful president in Jiangnan City. TSK. You two are such a talented man and a beautiful woman. They are a perfect match. So that man over there is Xiao Qingcheng's legendary freeloader husband, right? He's a good-looking man, but I didn't expect him to be a loser. Everyone was talking about it, which made Ji Boduan more confident, with a proud smile on his face. In fact, since he knew yesterday that Ye Tiance and Xiao Qingcheng would come to divorce today, he was ready to confess, and I firmly believe that Xiao Qingcheng will be moved by his sincerity. But it backfired. Xiao Qingcheng's expression quickly returned to his usual calmness from being overwhelmed. She did not accept Ji Boduan's rose. Instead, he refused coldly, sorry. Young Master Ji, I can't agree to your request. What? Ji Boduan looked stunned and asked subconsciously, why? Xiao Qingcheng replied. Don't have any ideas in that regard for the time being, I'm really sorry. After saying that, she subconsciously glanced in Ye Tiance's direction. After noticing that Ye Tiance's expression was expressionless, he quickly turned his gaze back. I feel quite unhappy. Did this guy not react at all when he saw other men confessing to me? Or does it mean that it doesn't matter to him at all? On the other hand, Ji Boduan's face darkened. I confessed my love in public and was rejected. Where does this put the face of the eldest young master of the Ji family? An unknown fire surged in Ji Boduan's chest, and he asked in a deep voice, Qingcheng. Why did you reject me? Am I not good enough to you? Do you know how much I have paid for you and your Xiao family? If it weren't for our Ji family's repeated help, your Xiao family would have been ruined long ago. You actually rejected me so ruthlessly. Xiao Qingcheng was a little panicked. He didn't expect Ji Boduan to be so angry. It's just that in her concept, if you like someone, you have to be right, and she had no such thoughts about Ji Boduan. As for the other person's help for her, she always kept it in mind and tried to find a way to repay it. Just when Xiao Qingcheng was thinking about how to explain, not far away, Ye Tiance said calmly, Ji Boduan, how dare you say that you have helped the Xiao family many times? You are really not afraid of Feng Da's tongue flashing. Ji Boduan's eyes suddenly fell on Ye Tiance. Suddenly he said, well, your surname is Yi, I know it was you who was behind the scenes to make Qingcheng reject me, right? Under anger, he stepped forward and grabbed Ye Tiance's collar. He said reluctantly, you bitch, you made trouble at my father's birthday party yesterday and injured my brother, and today you come to interfere with my confession. How the hell do you want to die? Ye Tiance narrowed his cold eyes and said, let go of your claws. Ji Boduan raised his chin and threatened, why don't you let go? Don't think that because you are a good fighter, I'm afraid of you. Damn it, I'm so worried. I'll have people dig up all the Yi family tombs another day. Ye Tiance's voice deepened, you dare, that you must know that the deceased family members are Ye Tiance's bottom line and the untouchable scale. Ji Boduan didn't know whether to live or die, and continued to provoke. What are you afraid of? In broad daylight, if I don't believe you, you still dare to hit me in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau? Come on. Can you try to hit me? Ye Tiance said coldly, this is the first time I have seen such a strange request, so I will satisfy you. The next second, he kicked Ji Boduan directly in the abdomen, boom. Ji Boduan was kicked 3 to 4 meters away and rolled down the steps at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. He fell to pieces. This scene shocked passers-by and exclaimed. Xiao Qingcheng's face turned pale with fright, and she quickly ran down to help Ji Boduan. Young Master Ji, are you okay? Ji Boduan rubbed his arms and thighs, grinned in pain, and kept moaning. His whole face was full of panic and surprise. He didn't expect that Ye Tiance was so bold that he actually dared to hit someone in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. In shame and anger, he pointed at Ye Tiance and cursed, Yi, how dare you hit me? Believe it or not, I. But he didn't finish his words, but he saw Ye Tiance duck out of the way and come directly to him, snapped. Hands up, hands down. A slap in the face sent Ji Bo flying away. If you fall, you will eat shit. Chapter 82. Even if I regret it, it has nothing to do with you, Ye Tiance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just when Ye Tiance was about to give Ji Boduan another kick, Xiao Qingcheng quickly stopped in front of him. She said anxiously and angrily, Ye Tiance. Are you crazy? Why are you beating someone? Ye Tiance said truthfully, he asked me to hit him. I just did it. What's the problem? You. Xiao Qingcheng was so angry that her face turned livid and her chest heaved. This guy is hopelessly rude. She turned around and helped Ji Boduan up again. At this time, one side of Ji Boduan's cheek was swollen and the corner of his mouth was bleeding. He was quite embarrassed. Xiao Qingcheng apologized repeatedly, young Master Ji, I'm really sorry. Don't be angry and don't be on the same level as him. I'll let him apologize to you right now. Ji Boduan stared at Ye Tiance with burning eyes, but fearing that Ye Tiance would strike again, he could only grit his teeth and nodded unwillingly. Xiao Qingcheng said seriously, Ye Tiance, I order you to solemnly apologize to young Master Ji, right away. Ye Tiance shook his head simply. He just beat up a blind bastard, and besides, it was the other person who provoked him first, so why should he apologize? Ye Tiance's attitude drove Xiao Qingcheng crazy. Ye Tiance, you clearly know that young Master Ji has great kindness to me and the Xiao family, but you have repeatedly interfered with it. How can I be worthy of the Ji family when you do this? How can I repay young Master Ji's kindness? That at this moment, Xiao Qingcheng only felt that Ye Tiance was deliberately retaliating against her, deliberately put her on the fire rack to roast. Facing Xiao Qingcheng, she vented her emotions. Ye Tiance shook his head and sneered, Ha! Mr. Xiao, please don't hold the shit basin on me. If you feel that you can't repay Ji Boduan's kindness, then just promise him to confess. Although Ye Tiance said so, but in fact, it was more because he saw Xiao Qingcheng's angry words when he defended Ji Boduan without any thought. Of course, on the other hand, I also want to test the relationship between Xiao Qingcheng and Ji Boduan, and how far it has developed. Xiao Qingcheng couldn't help but tremble when she heard Ye Tiance's words. Those beautiful eyes were full of disappointment. She couldn't believe that before she and Ye Tiance had officially divorced, the other party couldn't wait and pushed her into someone else's arms. It's because this way, you, Ye Tiance, can be upright and be with other women, right? It is good. Then I will help you today. Xiao Qingcheng's expression returned to coldness, and he said angrily, You are right, Ye Tiance. I had planned it this way. If it weren't for the divorce cooling-off period, I would have promised to young Master Ji. Are you satisfied now? A hint of sadness flashed in Ye Tiance's eyes. Sure enough, she had already planned to be with Ji Boduan. On the other hand, Ji Boduan himself was obviously happy after hearing this. He said in confusion, Qingcheng, what did you say? Were you originally going to agree to my confession? Xiao Qingcheng didn't look at Ji Boduan. Instead, he met Ye Tiance's gaze, not wanting to make any concessions. Bracing the bullet, he said something against his will, yes. But there is a cooling-off period for divorce, and it will take 30 days before I can officially apply for divorce. So that's it. Ji Boduan suddenly realized, his face full of joy. He thought that Xiao Qingcheng was not interested in him, but it turned out that the divorce had not been formalized yet. Think about it too, as the president of a large company, he agreed to confess to others before the divorce was officially divorced. If this kind of news spreads, the impact will not be good. I think it must be because of this that Qingcheng rejected him. Think about this. Ji Boduan quickly apologized and said with a smile, Qingcheng, you blamed me for being abrupt just now. I'm really sorry. Isn't there a 30-day cooling-off period? I must wait patiently, hee. Xiao Qingcheng just hummed slightly. What I was thinking about was that I would explain my true thoughts to Ji Boduan when I had time. As for what she owed to the Ji family and Ji Boduan, she would try to make up for it in other ways. At this time, Ye Tiance said indifferently, since this is Mr. Zhao's true thoughts, I will congratulate you in advance. However, for the sake of being a couple, I still remind Mr. Xiao that you need to keep your eyes peeled when choosing someone. Not everyone is worthy of being entrusted with your life, so as not to regret it. He said this with good intentions. Based on his understanding of Ji Boduan, this person was so diligent in contacting Xiao Qingcheng. His liking was only part of the story. He must have other ulterior motives. Xiao Qingcheng laughed at himself and said, Haha. Ye Tiance, I'd better keep this sentence for you. Please don't think that everyone is as bad as you. Even if I really regret it in the future, it has nothing to do with you. Ye Tiance lowered his eyes lightly. Now that she has made up her mind, she doesn't need to waste any more words. Ji Boduan's eyes flashed with a hint of cunning. He said with a proud smile, Yi, your existence will only bring her darkness, but I can lead her towards the light. To tell you the truth, I will take Qingcheng to buy gifts later, and I will give them to Miss Rong Meiyan at the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow to please her. By then, Qingcheng will definitely be selected as a business partner by the Rong family, and you, a loser, will only disappear from our sight forever. Done, Ji Boduan said to Xiao Qingcheng, I will take you to a place to help Miss Rong choose gifts. Xiao Qingcheng asked, where? Ji Boduan said mysteriously, you'll know when you get there. The gifts we choose will definitely satisfy Miss Rong. It is good. Xiao Qingcheng hesitated and nodded. After that, he and Ji Boduan drove away separately. From beginning to end, he didn't even look at Ye Tiance again. And this scene naturally caused various discussions among the passers-by. Sure enough, beauties still love heroes, and only young Master Ji is Xiao Qingcheng's target. Otherwise? Let Xiao Qingcheng continue to live with her good-for-nothing husband. Wouldn't that be a scam? Look, the man named Yi is still standing here pretending to be calm. Those who don't know think he has such a background that he doesn't care at all. When everyone was making complaints and looking down on Ye Tiance, a Rolls-Royce stopped on the side of the road in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. See the license plate number. The passers-by were all shocked. Because the owner of this car is the chairman of Tianlong Group, it is called the car of the King of Jiangnan. Why did Lord Long come to the Civil Affairs Bureau for no reason? When everyone is confused, the door of the Rolls-Royce opened and Zhao Hailong stepped out of the car. He stood there exuding aura, making onlookers feel even more stressed. He didn't even dare to raise his head and look into Zhao Hailong's eyes. Some passers-by who blocked Zhao Hailong's sight even ran away to make way for a spacious road. Ye Tiance was the only one standing there, motionless. This made the passers-by who were still watching sweat. Is this kid crazy? Why don't you run away when you see Mr. Long? You don't want your life. No wonder he was kicked out of the Xiao family. It turns out there is something wrong with his brain. Just wait, Mr. Long is going to go crazy, and this kid is going to be finished. However, the next scene shocked them. I saw Zhao Hailong walking up to Ye Tiance. Bend directly at 90 degrees, showing a very respectful attitude, he greeted, Mr. Yi. Chapter 83 The Embarrassing Ji Boduan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ga. The onlookers were stunned by this scene. The dignified king of Jiangnan, Zhao Hailong, was so respectful to him. What is going on here? Could it be that this person named Yi really has an unknown background? Xiao Qingcheng was the one who made the mistake. All of a sudden, various speculations emerged one after another. Ye Tiance ignored the shocked gazes of the onlookers. Instead, he asked, Why did you come to me? Zhao Hailong replied respectfully, My subordinates are here to send invitation cards. He took out a red card and handed it to Ye Tiance. He introduced, This is the invitation card that Rong Meiyan of the Rong family in the provincial capital asked me to pass on to you. Please attend the meeting of merchants tomorrow night. Ye Tiance thought that Zhao Hailong called him yesterday and said something like this. The reason why he agreed to go there was because he could take this opportunity to find Rong Meiyan to cancel the engagement, so Ye Tiance took the invitation card and put it directly into his pocket. Zhao Hailong glanced at the Civil Affairs Bureau. He asked cautiously, Mr. Yi, have you and Mr. Xiao gone through the divorce process? Ye Tiance shook his head. The staff said that there is a cooling-off period for divorce, and you have to wait 30 days before it can be processed. I didn't expect that getting a divorce is so troublesome these days. Zhao Hailong said diligently, Mr. Yi, if you need it, can I ask someone to help you speed up the process and complete the divorce as soon as possible? Ye Tiance hesitated for a moment, shook his head and said, Forget it. In Xiao Qingcheng's eyes, everything I do now is wrong. It's better to just let nature take its course. Zhao Hailong said seriously, but from the perspective of a subordinate, you have been extremely loyal to Mr. Xiao in the past 3 years, but she has failed you for all your hard work. She is the one who is at fault. Ye Tiance laughed at himself and said, Haven't you heard a sentence? The only time a married woman admits that she has done something wrong in this life is to admit that she married the wrong man, and she will never find fault in herself. At one time, I only thought this was a joke, but now I know how true it is. Zhao Hailong quickly nodded in agreement, then he asked, Mr. Yi, Tianlong Group's 100 billion order was announced to be cancelled at the tender meeting last time. When do you think it will be restarted and the winning bidder will be selected? After all, it is not a problem to delay it. Ye Tiance said, wait a little longer, I'll let you know when there's news. Zhao Hailong said respectfully, yes. At the same time, Ji Boduan took Xiao Qingcheng to Zhenbao Pavilion in Jiangnan City. He proudly introduced, Qingcheng, you don't know something. Miss Rong Meiyan likes jade carvings the most. This Jade Treasure Pavilion is our top store in Jiangnan City. You choose a jade carving by Master Xia Ping and give it to Miss Rong. Making a gift will definitely please her. Xiao Qingcheng nodded happily and said, young Master Ji, it's rare that you are so attentive. Thank you. In his heart, he couldn't help but compare Ji Boduan and Ye Tiance, someone who thinks about her everywhere and helps her solve her difficulties. One who goes around causing trouble and creating difficulties for him. In comparison, the gap is huge. While feeling emotional, Xiao Qingcheng carefully selected in the store. Every jade carving on the shelf is exquisitely crafted and is a rare and high-quality treasure. It was just that Xiao Qingcheng walked around for more than 10 minutes. Still haven't found one that meets my conditions. After all, it is to be given to Miss Rong Meiyan, who has a distinguished status, so it must be a gift that is brilliant and shocking enough. Suddenly, her eyes fell on the booth in the center of the store. Those beautiful pupils froze instantly. I saw that it was a green and white jade sculpture more than 1 foot high. Mountains formed by spiraling sapphire, rippling white jade water, one mountain and one water, the two complement each other, showing an extremely strong sense of reality, which makes people intoxicated and unable to extricate themselves. Although Xiao Qingcheng is not very familiar with jade carvings, he can still feel how top-notch this jade carving is. Definitely a rare treasure. If it is given to Miss Rong Meiyan, she will definitely be satisfied. Ji Boduan also came over at this time and looked at the jade sculpture up and down. He couldn't help but nodded and said, I'll go. Since when did Zhenbao Pavilion have jade carvings of this level? This is one of the best products in the entire country. At the same time, he was also quite confused. Although Master Xia Ping's sculpting skills are great, he doesn't seem to have reached this level. Could it be that Master Xia Ping has achieved a breakthrough recently? Ji Boduan didn't think too deeply about it and said with a smile, Qingcheng, since you like this work, let's buy it. He casually summoned a round-faced apprentice and said, put this jade sculpture on, I want to buy it. The round-faced apprentice said politely, sir, I'm really sorry. This jade sculpture is the latest treasure of our shop and is not for sale. Ji Boduan's face darkened and he said, what happened to the treasure of the store? Isn't it just for sale after being displayed? Or do you think I can't afford this jade carving of yours? To tell you the truth, I am Ji Boduan, the eldest son of the Ji family in Jiangnan. I don't even ask, is there anything in Jiangnan City that I can't afford? The round-faced apprentice quickly shook his head and said, young Master Ji, you misunderstood. I didn't mean that, it's just that the store's treasure is very important, and I, a young apprentice, can't make the decision. Ji Boduan snorted coldly, humph. If you can't make the decision, call Master Sun Kaisun from your shop. Done. He turned to show off to Xiao Qingcheng and said, Master Sun Kaisun is the first disciple of Master Xia Ping and the future heir of Zhenbao Pavilion. He and I are old friends. If you want this jade carving, it is just a matter of words, and you can also ask him to give you a discount. Xiao Qingcheng nodded and praised, young Master Ji, you still have many connections. Ji Boduan looked satisfied and was about to continue showing off. The round-faced apprentice said, young Master Ji, I regret to inform you that Sun Kai was expelled from the master a few hours ago and has been kicked out of the treasure pavilion forever. Ji Boduan, who originally looked satisfied, immediately became very embarrassed. He couldn't believe it and said, what the hell? Real or fake? As we all know, Sun Kai has followed Master Xia Ping for many years and holds a high position in Zhenbao Pavilion. How can a good person be expelled? The round-faced apprentice nodded affirmatively, it's absolutely true. Ji Boduan didn't believe it at all and snorted coldly, tch. How dare you, a young apprentice, even tell such a lie? I will call Master Sun right now to see how he punishes you. Ji Boduan took out his mobile phone and called Sun Kai. But I found that the other party's phone was turned off. Sent him another WeChat message, what the hell? He was actually blocked by the other party. At this moment, Ji Boduan had a very bad feeling. Is this guy Sun Kai really fired? It doesn't matter whether this person was fired or not, the point is that this guy borrowed 300 million from himself for gambling last month. Is it possible that this is going to be wasted? Thinking of this, Ji Boduan looked a little ugly. Grandma, this bastard, don't let me find him. He was angry, but he didn't get angry easily in front of Xiao Qingcheng. He could only cough lightly and say, since Sun Kai is not here, please call Master Xiaoping out. I believe he will sell me this jade sculpture for the sake of my eldest son of the Ji family. However, he just finished speaking, there was a slightly familiar voice behind him. I'm also interested in this jade sculpture. Please ask Master Xiaoping to come out and sell it to me. Chapter 84 Xiao Qingcheng vs Rong Meiyan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ji Boduan and Xiao Qingcheng turned their heads. He saw a charming woman wearing a red cheongsam standing behind him, with a curvy figure. Ji Boduan couldn't help but be stunned. It's actually you. Xiao Qingcheng also looked surprised. He didn't expect to meet this woman again today. Rong Meiyan raised a smile and said, what a coincidence, I meet you two here. Ji Boduan frowned and asked warily, what are you doing here? Although the woman in front of him can be called a beauty in the world, as a man, he admires her very much, but thinking about yesterday's birthday banquet of the Ji family, this woman came to the rescue of Ye Tiance many times and slapped the Ji family in the face. He couldn't help but feel wary and hostile. The corner of Rong Meiyan's mouth curled up and she said, what do I need to report to you for? Do you really think that since you are the eldest young master of the Ji family, you can control everything? The corners of Ji Boduan's eyes twitched, and he was about to get angry subconsciously, but thinking that you are on the territory of the treasure pavilion, you still have to restrain yourself. He snorted coldly and stopped talking to Rong Meiyan. He turned to the round-faced apprentice and scolded, you didn't hear what I said, did you call Master Xiaoping out immediately? The round-faced apprentice said, young Master Ji, Master is in seclusion and carving, and he has strictly ordered us not to disturb him in any way. Ji Boduan frowned and asked, how long will Master Xiaoping need to be in retreat? The round-faced apprentice said, it should be soon. All right. Ji Boduan nodded, then he threatened Rong Meiyan, I don't care who you are or what your background is. For the sake of you being a woman, I remind you not to compete with us for this jade sculpture. Rong Meiyan became interested and asked, oh. Where did this come from? Ji Boduan said proudly, to tell you the truth, we bought this jade sculpture to give it to Miss Rong Meiyan. If you compete against us, it is equivalent to fighting against Miss Rong. No need for me to say more, you should also understand what the provincial capital Rong family represents, and what are the consequences of going against the Rong family, right? Rong Meiyan suddenly said, that's it. Ji Boduan said proudly, since you understand, why don't you quickly give up the competition for jade carvings and leave here? Unexpectedly, the other party showed a charming smile and said, listening to what you said, I want this jade sculpture even more. After all, it is very interesting to think about robbing Miss Rong's treasure. What? Ji Boduan was confused. He thought that mentioning Rong Meiyan would make this woman retreat, but he didn't expect that the other party was fearless and even kicked her nose in the face. Is this woman crazy? Not even afraid of Rong Meiyan? Xiao Qingcheng took a step forward and said with a cold attitude, Miss, this jade sculpture is very important to me. If you insist on competing, Xiao Qingcheng will not give in. For a moment, the two looked at each other, it's like there's a collision of electricity and light. A few seconds later, Rong Meiyan raised her eyebrows slightly and asked, Mr. Xiao really thinks that giving this jade sculpture to Miss Rong will win her favor and make you a business partner of the Rong family. Xiao Qingcheng was stunned for a moment, quite surprised by the other party's keenness, and he could see her purpose in choosing the jade carving at a glance. Rong Meiyan stepped forward and walked slowly around the jade sculpture. He sighed with emotion, the carving skills of this jade carving are natural and extremely valuable. There are only a handful of people in the entire Dragon Kingdom who can achieve such a level. It may win Miss Rong's favor, but it cannot bring what Miss Rong wants most. Mr. Xiao, you are a smart man who has been in the business world for many years, why don't you think carefully about why the Rong family chooses business partners in Jiangnan City? In Miss Rong's mind, is a precious jade sculpture more important than what she really wants? This series of thoughtful rhetorical questions, Xiao Qingcheng was stunned for a moment. Her intuition told her that the true identity of the woman in front of her was more complicated than she originally thought. She subconsciously prepared to ask the other party's identity, but he was interrupted by Ji Boduan. Humph. You are analyzing from Miss Rong's point of view with all your integrity, what the hell? Do you think you are Miss Rong? To tell you the truth, our Ji family has been appointed as a business partner by Miss Rong, and we are qualified to recommend other partners, as long as Qingcheng buys this jade sculpture and gives it to Miss Rong, and our Ji family mediates it, Miss Rong will definitely choose her to become a business partner. How can you question and refute it in just a few words? Rong Meiyan narrowed her eyes slightly and asked, who told you that the Ji family has been appointed as a partner of the Rong family? Ji Boduan showed off. Of course it was the second master of the Rong family, Mr. Rongtianli Rong, who informed us. His words represent the official Rong family. What else do you have to say? In response, Rong Meiyan smiled meaningfully and said, just let you and I wait and see. Ji Boduan sneered disdainfully and didn't take this sentence seriously at all. Xiao Qingcheng, on the other hand, felt an inexplicable sense of uneasiness in her heart at this moment. After hesitating for a moment, she advised Ji Bo, it's better to forget about buying jade carvings. I think Miss Rong may not care about this, but she needs a good and capable partner. I want to impress her with my true ability, not. Ji Boduan interrupted, Qingcheng, you are full of advantages, but you have a soft ear. You are shaken after hearing a few words from others. Don't worry, since I have bought this jade sculpture, it is an established fact and no one can change it. Even if Master Xiaoping comes out later, he will give me this face. I just finished saying this, a slightly dissatisfied old voice sounded, humph. When did the treasure of my Jinbao pavilion store fall to the point where I have to sell it for money? I saw Xiaoping, wearing a yellow tang suit, walking out from the sculptor inside. There was a bit of sullenness on his face. He asked the round-faced apprentice, didn't my master tell me that this jade sculpture is the latest treasure of the store and is not allowed to be sold? Why are there still people clamoring to buy it? The round-faced apprentice quickly recounted the cause and effect of the incident. Nothing was hidden. Xiaoping faced Ji Boduan and said calmly, this green mountain in clear water is the treasure of our store. We will not participate in the sale. Please choose other jade carvings. This. Ji Boduan was a little embarrassed. He originally thought that Xiaoping would give him some face when he heard that he was young Master Ji, but he never thought of rejecting it so simply. But due to Xiaoping's identity, he did not dare to offend him. We can only discuss, Master Xiaoping, I know that this treasure of your store is very precious, but no matter how precious it is, it comes with a price. Mr. Xiao and I are willing to pay a high price to buy it. Xiaoping narrowed his cold eyes and said, young Master Ji, for the sake of your father, Xia is willing to spend a little more time with you to remind you. First, you are not allowed to call me a master from now on. My level is far from worthy of this title. Second, although Xia's family's wealth is not as good as your Ji's, it is not at the end of its rope, so there is no need to scare Xia with money. Ji Boduan looked confused. He didn't understand. Xiaoping used to be arrogant and liked others to praise him. Why did he suddenly become so humble today? Don't even want the title of master. Ji Boduan was still unwilling to give in and continued to persuade, Mr. Xia, I can understand your unwillingness to sell the jade carving. But this jade carving is planned to be given to Miss Rong at her meeting tomorrow night. You also know how many celebrities will be participating in the meeting tomorrow night. If you display this jade sculpture in public, it will definitely amaze everyone and it will also improve your reputation. Ji Boduan believes that if you, Xiaoping, don't like money, don't you even like fame? But Xiaoping's answer slapped him in the face again. Xiaoping smiled bitterly and said, before today, Xia might have been moved by your words, but now to me, the so-called fame and wealth are not important at all. Moreover, this jade carving was not made by Xia, but by Master Yi. He was willing to keep it here as a treasure for his shop. Xiao was already grateful, so how could he dare to sell it privately to make money? Ji Boduan was stunned. Good guy, after working on it for a long time, this jade carving was not carved by Xiao Ping. He rolled his eyes and said, this is not simple. Please tell me the contact information of Master Yi, and I will contact him right away. I believe that with the name of my Jiangnan Ji family, I will definitely give him face and agree to sell this jade sculpture. The voice just fell. There was a voice at the door. No need to bother to contact me. I can inform you here that I will not give the Ji family face, let alone agree to sell the jade carving to you. Chapter 85. He is actually Master Yi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Several people looked back. I saw that the person speaking was actually Ye Tiance. Ji Boduan looked ugly and frowned. What are you doing here? Could a waste like you come into this place? As he was talking, he suddenly realized something was wrong. Wait a minute, what did you say? You won't sell this jade sculpture to me, What does it have to do with you? Ye Tiance replied calmly. Because this jade sculpture was made by me, what do you think I have to do with it? That this statement came out, Ji Boduan couldn't help but laugh out loud. Yi, I discovered that you have a disease that will cause you to die if you don't brag. The level of this jade carving can be called a miracle. How can you, a useless loser, carve it? Stop being so funny. Xiao Qingcheng shook his head and said, Ye Tiance, when will you stop having these unrealistic daydreams? Please stop trying to flatter others, okay? Thinking that she had been married to Ye Tiance for 3 years, she never knew that Ye Tiance had any involvement in jade carving, let alone seen him carving. He actually said that this green mountain and clear water was made by him. From yesterday I said I knew medicine, to today I say I know sculpture. In Xiao Qingcheng's view, Ye Tiance was really immersed in adultery and could not be saved. It's not just her, even Rong Meiyan at this moment had a flash of suspicion in her eyes. You must know that she is deeply involved in the jade carving industry. It is very clear that this green mountain and clear water in front of us requires decades of hard work and outstanding talent to carve out a top-notch work of art. However, Ye Tiance was less than 30, how could he carve it? He should be deliberately showing off himself in front of his soon-to-be ex-wife. However, the next scene was far beyond their expectations. I saw Xiao Ping stepping forward quickly. He bowed respectfully to Ye Tiance and said, Master Yi, you are finally back. I would like to give you my best wishes. This attitude made Ji Boduan and others' eyes widen. You must know that Xiao Ping is the absolute leader in the jade carving industry in Jiangnan City. Because of his noble status, even the 3 major families in Jiangnan City must show courtesy. However, at this time, he actually showed such a respectful attitude towards Ye Tiance. What the hell is going on here? Ji Boduan was the first to express his inner doubts. He said to Xiao Ping, what do you call this person named Yi? Master Yi? How can he become a master when he is a useless loser? Xiao Ping said with a straight face, don't be rude to Master Yi. His sculpting level has reached the state of returning to nature, which is far superior to Xiao's. Besides, he can carve the masterpiece of green mountains and clear waters. How can he not be considered a master? Title? Snort. Not to mention master, even if you call him a grandmaster, there is no problem. This sentence was like a thunderbolt. The shock made Ji Boduan's scalp numb. Green mountains and clear waters was actually carved by Ye Tiance. How is this possible? He said unwillingly, Mr. Xia, are you kidding me? Can Ye Tiance really carve such a top-notch jade carving? Xia Ping said seriously, otherwise? This green mountain and clear water was carved by Master Yi in front of everyone in Jinbao Pavilion this morning. How can it be false? Not only did he say this, but even the apprentices in the store were filled with emotion. I can testify. Master Ye's carving skills have exceeded our imagination and have reached the state of returning to nature, which is enviable. Yes, it is unheard of to carve such a top-notch treasure in just 15 minutes. As a jade carver, I will die without regrets if I can witness Master Yi displaying his carving techniques in my lifetime. With so many people testifying and speaking, it is natural that it is completely proven. Ji Boduan's ears were buzzing and he was stunned in place. I couldn't say a word for a long time. However, Xiao Qingcheng was even more shocked than Ji Boduan. She looked at Ye Tiance with eyes full of horror and difficulty in accepting it. She couldn't figure it out. Why did the good-for-nothing Ye Tiance transform into a master of jade carving after she filed for divorce? Who can tell her, what is this? As for Rong Meiyan, she couldn't help but take a deep breath. She discovered more and more that this man named Ye Tiance brought unexpected surprises to her every time they met. It's unpredictable. Ye Tiance didn't care what Ji Boduan and others thought. Instead, he said to Xiao Ping, since this jade sculpture is given to you as a store treasure, the right to dispose of it naturally belongs to you. If you want to sell it, you can sell it to anyone, but it cannot be the Ji family. That this sentence directly made Ji Bo break his guard. He couldn't help but question and shouted, Yi, what do you mean? You can't sell it to our Ji family. Are you looking down on my family? That Ye Tiance sneered and said, I think your Ji family is just trying to sell your stuff. How can you ever think so highly of it? Ji Boduan was so angry that his face turned livid. If he hadn't been unable to defeat Ye Tiance, he would have rushed forward with his arms waving. He could only grit his teeth and say unwillingly, Bah! You just know how to carve jade, what's so great about it? This thing is valuable only if some people praise it, but it doesn't matter if no one praises it. You don't want to sell it to me, and I don't care about it. Qingcheng, let's go, don't pay attention to this trash. But when he turned around and walked to the door of the store, he turned around and found that Xiao Qingcheng had not followed. At this time, Xiao Qingcheng's eyes were locked on Ye Tiance. He asked in a complaining tone, since you know how to carve jade, why have I never heard of you before? That Ye Tiance answered truthfully, you never asked, what do you want me to say? That Xiao Qingcheng was stunned for a moment, then sneered at himself, huh? I never asked you why. In the final analysis, you have never trusted me. You just don't want to say it. That Ye Tiance helplessly spread his hands and said, if you think so, there's nothing I can do about it. That this attitude made Xiao Qingcheng even more unhappy. She bit her lip and said coldly, Ye Tiance. What I despise the most is your attitude. You didn't trust me in the first place, but now you've turned against me. Is it fun to be so mean? That Ye Tiance responded coldly, Mr. Xiao, let me remind you that you have never trusted me, and you are the one who beat me up. Xiao Qingcheng subconsciously opened her mouth to retort, Ye Tiance, why have I ever distrusted you? Don't spit on others. This time, Ye Tiance didn't answer yet. Rong Meiyan said quietly, I remember yesterday at the birthday banquet, Mr. Xiao, you didn't trust Mr. Ye's calligraphy, right? As for the final result, it is obvious to all. Have you forgotten? That as she spoke, Rong Meiyan raised a roll of rice paper and slowly opened it. It was Ye Tiance painting with the 4 characters Jun Lin Tian Xiao. The painting style of Wandering Dragon, a kind of imperial aura that surpasses all people, exudes from this calligraphy. Rong Meiyan sneered lightly and asked, Mr. Xiao, when you see it now, do you still think Mr. Yi is spitting blood? Chapter 86 Ashamed Xiao Qingcheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Rong Meiyan's rhetorical question made Xiao Qingcheng embarrassed. My face is burning and hurting. She took a deep look at the calligraphy in Rong Meiyan's hand, and then looked at the jade sculpture, green mountains and clear waters. No matter which one it is, it can be regarded as the top presence in the industry, and all of these were actually done by Ye Tiance. What's more important is that she, Xiao Qingcheng, never knew that Ye Tiance knew this. Of course, it may be more appropriate to describe it as distrust at this moment. Ye Tiance didn't notice Xiao Qingcheng's expression. Instead, he asked Rong Meiyan doubtfully, why did you bring this calligraphy? Rong Meiyan showed a charming smile and said, people think that your calligraphy is not extraordinary, it is priceless, so it would be a pity to leave it here like this and eat dust, so I came to Jianbao Pavilion and wanted to ask the master to frame it and hang it at home or in the office. How bold! Ye Tiance smiled bitterly, it's just a casual calligraphy, so you can't be so serious, right? Rong Meiyan said seriously, as for it. Of course it is. Mr. Xia, what do you think? She shook the word in her hand. In fact, Xia Ping's eyes have been attracted by this calligraphy for a long time. As a master of jade carving, I naturally have a deep understanding of calligraphy. He was stunned for more than half a minute. He sighed from the bottom of his heart. The brushwork is skillful and free, the fonts are majestic, and I can feel the majestic imperial atmosphere. Good calligraphy, that he looked at Ye Tiance and said excitedly, Master Yi, I am completely convinced by you. I didn't expect that your attainments in calligraphy are as good as jade carvings. I'm just curious, what else do you know how to do? Ye Tiance waved his hand and said with a smile, I don't know much, otherwise I won't be kicked out of the house. Being ridiculed is useless. Puff. When Xiao Qingcheng heard these words, he felt like he was stabbed hard in the chest. His face became more and more embarrassed. This guy must have done it on purpose. Xia Ping coughed lightly and said to Rong Meiyan, Madam, our Zhenbao pavilion has a master who specializes in mounting calligraphy and paintings. If you can trust me, I will arrange for the best master to mount it. It is expected to be completed in 3 days. Since this is Master Ye's pen and ink, our store will provide free framing. Rong Meiyan's face lit up and she handed the calligraphy to Xia Ping. Then thank you, Mr. Xia. Then she patted Ye Tiance on the shoulder. Feng Qingwanzhao said, thanks to your name, I have saved a lot of money in vain. How can I thank you? Ye Tiance shook his head, no need. Actually, I should be the one to say thank you. After all, she came to her rescue twice at the birthday banquet yesterday. This kindness has not been repaid yet. Rong Meiyan rolled her eyes and said excitedly, oh. Since you said that, you might as well go with the flow and sell me this Green Mountains and Clear Waters jade carving. I really like it. Don't worry, just ask the price and they will pay. Rise. Hearing this, Xia Ping suddenly looked wary, fearing that the jade sculpture would be taken away. He said in a panic, Master Yi, you agreed that this jade sculpture will be given to me and cannot be sold. Ye Tiance smiled and said, Mr. Xia, keep your heart in your stomach. You must have the right to deal with this jade sculpture. Then he said to Rong Meiyan, since you really like jade carvings, I will carve another one for you someday. The quality will definitely not be worse than Green Mountains and Clear Waters. Rong Meiyan's eyes lit up and she asked expectantly, do you keep what you say? Ye Tiance nodded, of course it counts. I felt quite helpless in my heart. He didn't want to have too many entanglements with this woman, but in reality things always backfired. The singing and harmony between Ye Tiance and Rong Meiyan fell in Xiao Qingcheng's eyes, making her feel mixed. Unhappiness, self-blame, sadness, jealousy, in short, there are all kinds of emotions. She took a deep breath and tried her best to regain her composure. Looking at Ye Tiance, he said coldly, I admit that after the divorce was filed, you showed unexpected highlights in some aspects, but don't think that these highlights can make me, Xiao Qingcheng, change her mind or even regret it, because in the end these are just small tricks and cannot be put on the stage. The gap between you and me is not superficial, but a level of vision that you will never understand. You will know this after the meeting tomorrow. After saying these words, Xiao Qingcheng turned her head and left angrily. Even Ji Boduan didn't care. Ji Boduan looked gloomy, pointing at Ye Tiance. He said harshly, Yi. It's all your fault that my plan failed again. Just wait, I will settle this account with you after tomorrow's meeting with Miss Rong. Then he chased Xiao Qingcheng and ran out. This little farce has come to an end for the time being. Rong Meiyan smiled lightly and said with emotion, Mr. Yi, your soon-to-be ex-wife's personality is indeed a bit different, but it has made it difficult for you to be married for 3 years. Ye Tiance just smiled bitterly. On this topic, he actually didn't want to think or say much. How high is Rong Meiyan's emotional intelligence? He immediately noticed this and said, I still have some things to do, so I won't waste time here. Mr. Xia, I will come to pick up the framed words in 3 days. Please do everything. Goodbye, Mr. Yi. After Rong Meiyan left, Ye Tiance could relax a little. For some reason, every time this woman appeared next to him, it would make him feel uncomfortable. Although this discomfort is not negative, it still distracts Ye Tiance. It seems that I should stay as far away from her as possible from now on. After sighing, Ye Tiance followed Xia Ping to his exclusive carving room. After all, he returned to the treasure pavilion again just to see the result of the repair of the tiger-shaped jade pendant. Xia Ping lifted a piece of red cloth off the table. I saw a crystal white, warm and smooth tiger-shaped jade pendant lying on it. Xia Ping smiled and said, Master Yi, please take a look at it. Ye Tiance picked up the tiger-shaped jade pendant and inspected it carefully. You must know that Ye Tiance's eyesight is far beyond that of ordinary people, and he can see many details that ordinary people cannot notice. But at this time, he could not see any trace of repair on this tiger-shaped jade pendant. Exactly like the original condition. This couldn't help but make Ye Tiance sigh in his heart. This Xia Ping used a bonding method that has been passed down from generation to generation by carvers. It is indeed a work of art. Immediately, Ye Tiance cupped his fists to express his gratitude to Xia Ping. The latter was immediately frightened, and the two exchanged pleasantries for a while. Ye Tiance just said goodbye and left from the Jinbao pavilion. At dusk, Rong Meiyan drove the silver Rolls-Royce Phantom back to the Zijin Tiangong Villa community. Purple Tiangong is located on Purple Mountain in the suburbs. To get here from the city, you will pass through a sparsely populated mountain road. Just when Rong Meiyan was driving on this mountain road, suddenly a van overtook her car and spun suddenly, with its rails in the middle of the road. Squeak! Rong Meiyan's expression changed and she quickly stepped on the brakes. Fortunately, a collision with the car in front was avoided, but the next second, another van appeared and stopped behind her car. One after another, Rong Meiyan's car was blocked tightly. Next, a total of more than 10 strong men got out of the two vans. Everyone was armed with machetes and sticks, and they surrounded him with great force. I saw that the leader was a man with a scarred face. He raised his foot and stepped on Rong Meiyan's front hood, and said arrogantly and sinisterly, Miss Rong, will you come with us? Chapter 87 Mr. Yi, why are you here? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Facing people who come with bad intentions, Rong Meiyan was very calm, without any panic. Who are you? How do you know my identity? That the scarred face smiled coldly. I have no comment on these questions. Please cooperate with Miss Rong and get out of the car immediately and come with us, otherwise don't blame my brother for being violent. As he spoke, he arrogantly knocked on the car hood with his machete. Rong Meiyan narrowed her eyes slightly. With his right hand, he pressed the phone in his handbag without being noticed. He smiled and said, Since you are so gracious, how dare you not listen? Rong Meiyan opened the car door and stepped out. Scarface looked at Rong Meiyan carefully. Her superb figure and appearance made him feel thirsty. He licked his lips and said greedily, Tisk, tsk. As expected of the eldest lady of the Rong family, she looked so exciting, that if it weren't for the big boss behind the scenes who requested that Rong Meiyan be brought over intact, he couldn't control his inner restlessness and rushed to do something. He ordered the boys behind him, Come here, put a cap on her head. Yes, a young man came over with a black hood and wanted to cover Rong Meiyan's head. Rong Meiyan raised her right hand slightly, as if she was about to make some action. A voice sounded, but it made her stop immediately. Hey! What are you doing? This shout shocked Scarface and the others. Turn your head quickly. I saw a young man riding a yellow electric scooter and wearing a yellow helmet parked on the side of the road. Looks like he's dressed like a food delivery guy. You must know that they were ordered to kidnap Rong Meiyan this time, and they didn't want to waste time and cause trouble. Scar's face turned upside down. He raised his machete and threatened, Damn it! What are you screaming about, you stinky takeaway delivery guy? Stop meddling in other people's business and get out of here. In his opinion, a food delivery guy, if you are frightened by a reckless brother like them, you will definitely be scared away. But something unexpected happened. Not only did the delivery boy not run away, he took off his helmet without even looking at Scarface and the others. Instead, she was a little surprised and said to Rong Meiyan, Is it you? He came home from Jinbao Pavilion. He didn't expect to meet Rong Meiyan again here. It seemed that he was stopped and kidnapped. As for Rong Meiyan, she was also surprised and said, Mr. Yi, why are you here? The conversation between the two made Scarface and everyone else's expressions change slightly. The younger brother reminded, Brother, this delivery guy seems to know her. We can't let him go now. Scarface's expression darkened. He said grimly to Ye Tiance, "Boy, don't blame my brother for being cruel. I just blame you for not reading the almanac when you went out today. You are in bad luck." Rong Meiyan quickly reminded, "Mr. Yi, run quickly, their target is me, not you." However, with Ye Tiance's character, how could he run away after seeing this scene? He stood there and sneered at Scarface and the others. "You have misunderstood. In fact, you are the ones who went out without looking at the almanac. I remind you to let them go and leave quickly. Just pretend that I have not seen this matter." "Damn! Isn't a food delivery guy so cool?" Scarface waved to the two younger brothers behind him. "You two, get rid of this brat and let him go down and show off with the Lord of Hell." "Yes." Two boys holding machetes rushed towards Ye Tiance with fierce expressions on their faces. Ye Tiance didn't panic, grabbed the helmet and threw it towards one of them. The man didn't think so. Have you ever wondered how powerful a small helmet can be? So he didn't dodge and chose to use his body to catch it hard. However, the moment the helmet hit him, only then did he realize that this was not a helmet, it was simply a cannonball. Boom! A loud bang. His body flew out directly, fell more than 10 meters away, and fell heavily to the ground. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out of his mouth and he fainted on the spot. The remaining person still hadn't realized what was going on, but Ye Tiance's figure suddenly disappeared. Swish! When he appeared again, he actually arrived in front of him and slapped him in the face. Snapped! The seemingly weak slap actually sent him flying into the air. He flew 5 meters horizontally and hit a tree on the side of the road. Thump! His body fell weakly from the tree and fell to the ground, and he also fainted. This scene sounds slow, but in reality it doesn't even last 3 seconds. Ga. Scarface and the rest of the crowd's eyes almost popped out. Are all the brothers who deliver food so aggressive these days? It's so powerful. Scarface's lips trembled. "You, who are you?" Ye Tiance stood there, just smiled faintly, and did not respond to his question. This kind of disrespectful behavior made Scarface very angry. "Damn it! Don't think you can scare me with some boxing and kicking skills. I don't believe it. No matter how good you are at fighting, can you still be the opponent of a group of us? Brothers, come together, we must kill him." All of his subordinates immediately got their blood pumped up and attacked Ye Tiance with howls and screams. "Ha! Don't overestimate your capabilities." Ye Tiance shook his head and sneered. Faced with more than a dozen younger brothers who were besieging him, he was not afraid of danger. Rushed towards them at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Snapped, snapped, snapped. One slap per person, it was very clean and neat, knocking everyone to the ground. They were all rolling on the ground in pain and moaning continuously. Only Scarface was left, as if he had seen a ghost, his face turned pale with fright. He couldn't even hold the machete in his hand and it fell to the ground with a clatter. From the time he ordered his younger brother to take action until the entire army was wiped out except for him, it didn't even take half a minute. This huge gap almost made him collapse. And Rong Meiyan saw all this in her eyes, her beautiful eyes sparkling with excitement and appreciation. Although this is not the first time she has seen Ye Tiance take action. But every time, it made her heart surge and her blood surge. The powerful male protagonist described in the novel is nothing more than that. Ye Tiance didn't notice Rong Meiyan's gaze. He slowly walked toward Scarface and said calmly, "Aren't you going to kill me? Give you a chance to do it." Thump. Scarface knelt on the ground very simply, he kowtowed and begged for mercy. "I was wrong. Brother, please spare my life. Please don't kill me. It's all because of the villain's bad mouth. Please don't remember the villain's fault." Ye Tiance rolled his eyes. "I thought you looked quite fierce, but I didn't expect you to be so cowardly." Ye Tiance asked, "If you want to live, you can tell the truth. You dare to risk blocking the road and kidnapping me in broad daylight. What is your purpose?" This. Scarface's expression was tangled. The background of this matter is extremely involved. how can he dare to say it? Ye Tiance narrowed his cold eyes slightly. Oh. You don't want to speak anymore. The little ones don't dare. The little ones don't dare. Scarface struggled and hesitated for a moment, then a hint of determination appeared in his eyes, and said, the reason why I kidnapped Rong. But he was only halfway through his words. Ye Tiance was the first to suddenly feel a strong danger signal. Just when he was about to take action, it was too late. I saw Scarface kneeling in front of him, and suddenly his whole head exploded in an instant. Hot blood and brain matter burst out in all directions. Chapter 88. Why don't you give me your life? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Tiance's eyes narrowed and he waved his hand. Roll up a wall of air to block the blood and brain matter. This sudden scene, the younger brothers who were still unconscious screamed in shock. What's going on? Boss, why did his head split open? The boss is dead. Ah! What happened? Ye Tiance suddenly turned his head and stared into the woods on the left, his eyes sharp. Although only for a moment, but he clearly judged that the scarred face was killed by a sniper bullet in the head. And the sniper who killed him was in the woods, about 300 meters away. Ye Tiance narrowed his eyes. The silenced sniper rifle is intended to kill people and cover up the truth. But do you really think that you can succeed like this? Although the sniper tried his best to conceal his aura, Ye Tiance still locked onto the opponent in an instant. Just when Ye Tiance was about to rush into the woods and pull out the sniper, suddenly there was a scream from behind. What? Ye Tiance turned around and saw Rong Meiyan covering her head with both hands, showing a very painful expression. What happened to you? Ye Tiance had no choice but to give up targeting the sniper's aura, and quickly turned around and rushed to Rong Meiyan and asked. Unexpectedly, he was suddenly hugged by the other party. Her whole face was full of fear and she said, people are dead. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. You. Ye Tiance was at a loss by this sudden hug and was a little dazed. I subconsciously wanted to push away, but unexpectedly, she hugged her even tighter. And at this moment, one of Scarface's younger brothers shouted, run. Then I saw them dragging the unconscious brother, picking up Scarface's body, and hurriedly getting into the van. Want to run? Ye Tiance's instinct was to pursue him and stop him, but he was hugged tighter by the other party. Mr. Yi, please don't let go, I'm so scared. At this moment, Ye Tiance felt the pair of surging weapons on the opponent's chest pressing against his chest. The warmth and softness at that moment made his body stiffen. In the end, I could only watch the group of boys escape in a van. Ye Tiance sighed helplessly. Don't look at the countless experiences that ordinary people can't imagine in the fallen city over the years, and he has seen a lot. But this was the first time for me to be held so affectionately by a woman. What's more, she is such a superb woman. Especially the unique fragrance exuding from the other person's body, as well as the faint lingering warmth. Ye Tiance couldn't help but feel his mouth go dry, but he quickly calmed down. He tentatively said, their car has already driven far away. How long are you going to hold them? Ah. I'm sorry, Mr. Yi, I was so scared just now. Rong Meiyan slowly let go of Ye Tiance. At this moment, there was still frightening fear in her eyes, and there was a little shyness and blush on her pretty face. Coupled with her natural charm and all kinds of aura, Ye Tiance couldn't help but feel a feeling of pity from the bottom of his heart. Ye Tiance asked, who are these people? Why do they want to kidnap you? Rong Meiyan shook her head blankly, I don't know either. Ye Tiance smiled bitterly and said, okay, no matter what, it's good that everyone is fine. Then do you want me to call the police for you? Find that group of people. Unexpectedly, the other party refused directly. There is no need to call the police. Ye Tiance was about to subconsciously ask the reason. Buzz. I saw 5 black Audi cars speeding up in the distance and stopped in front of the 2 of them. Wow! More than 20 strong men in black got out of the car, all wearing sunglasses and with a strong aura. At first glance, he looks like a well-trained bodyguard. The leader was a strong man about 30 years old, nearly 1.9 meters tall, like a black bear. He quickly stepped forward, knelt down on one knee and said respectfully to Rong Meiyan, "Miss, Huang Zhen arrived too late to save us. He deserves death for his crime. Please punish him." Rong Meiyan said, "The evildoers have been driven away, please get up." "Yes." Huang Zhen stood up and glanced at Ye Tiance, somewhat wary. "Miss, who is this?" Rong Meiyan replied, "If Mr. Yi hadn't coincidentally appeared to help me this time, I'm afraid things would have been much worse." Huang Zhen nodded and cupped his fists at Ye Tiance. "Well, thank you, Mr. Yi." Although he said this, he looked at Ye Tiance with vigilance in his eyes, he seemed to be in disbelief. How could he alone defeat those evil people? Ye Tiance glanced at the group of bodyguards, especially this strong man named Huang Zhen. It can be felt that this group of people have been specially trained, far beyond what ordinary bodyguards can match. To have such a huge bodyguard protection, this woman's identity and background are obviously not simple. Rong Meiyan thanked Ye Tiance again. "Mr. Yi, no matter what, I thank you for saving my life today. I really can't repay you." Ye Tiance waved his hand and said with a smile, "It's just a small effort, and there's no need to talk about rewards." But Rong Meiyan said in a charming manner, "Why can't you repay the favor of saving your life? If you don't dislike it, I can consider giving you my life. You are about to get divorced anyway, right? Sweat." Ye Tiance was startled, he hurriedly said, "Ahem. Well, this joke is a bit too much. I happen to have something urgent, so I'll take my leave first. Goodbye." Ye Tiance didn't give Rong Meiyan a chance to talk any more. "Just get on the battery car, start and leave. Anyway, she has so many bodyguards to protect her, so she doesn't have to worry about any accidents." Looking at Ye Tiance's back, the corner of Rong Meiyan's mouth curled up. "I didn't expect that being shy can be quite cute." At this time, Huang Zhen asked respectfully, "Miss, do you want me to send someone to chase the people who kidnapped you immediately? Find out their identities?" Rong Meiyan shook her head and said, "Forget it. Maybe it was just an ordinary kidnapping, and I happened to bump into it. I'm fine here, you can take the people back." Huang Zhen said with some concern, "But your safety?" Rong Meiyan interrupted, "Just do it." "Yes." Huang Zhen could only obey the order and leave with his bodyguards. When they disappear, Xiao Qingcheng walked to the silver Rolls-Royce Phantom. She gently twisted the hood of the car with her index finger and wiped away the blood stains left after Scarface was shot in the head. He said to himself, "I just came to Jiangnan City from the provincial capital for a few days, and I can't help but take action. I really can't wait." At this moment, she doesn't still have the frightened look she had before. On the contrary, his face was calm, and it seemed that he had not been kidnapped at all. Someone's headshot affected his mood at all. She turned to look at the woods on the left and said, "Everyone is gone, come out." Wow. I saw a tall young girl with a long ponytail walking out of the woods. On her shoulder is a sniper rifle. On his face was a butterfly mask covering his eyes. If Ye Tiance were standing here, he could still recognize the other outline details of the other person's face. This girl showed up at Ji Wuli's birthday party yesterday, claiming to be Rong Meiyan's personal assistant, Qing. Chapter 89. Daughter, will you and Ye Tiance fulfill your engagement? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Rong Meiyan praised, "Your marksmanship has improved recently." Qing said calmly, "It's only a distance of 400 meters. One shot to the head. It's not difficult. I just saw your gesture, miss." That's right, the person who just shot in the woods was not Scar's male accomplice who was trying to kill someone to silence him, but Qing moved his hand. In the eyes of outsiders, Qing is just Rong Meiyan's personal assistant or maid. There is nothing special except for her good figure and good looks, but few people know that Qing, who seems to be powerless, is actually Rong Meiyan's most trusted bodyguard. She is proficient in fighting, assassination, firearms, etc., and is more terrifying and powerful than many guys in the army who are known as the king of soldiers. And today, before Scarface and the others kidnapped Rong Meiyan, she was lurking in the woods in advance. When Rong Meiyan was blocked from the car by Scarface and others, she was already waiting for Rong Meiyan to make a gesture and be ready to shoot at any time. However, from the scope, I saw Rong Meiyan's half-raised hand suddenly lowered, and she didn't fire immediately. Then I saw Ye Tiance appearing on a battery car and knocking all the scar-faced boys down. Later, when Ye Tiance wanted to interrogate Scarface about something, Rong Meiyan suddenly made a gesture to fire. Although Ah Qing didn't understand the reason, there was no doubt about the young lady's order. He immediately shot and killed Scarface from a distance. Ah Qing glanced at the remaining blood stains on the ground. "Miss, how did you know there would be an ambush here today?" Rong Meiyan said calmly. "Actually, when I was in the provincial capital, I felt that someone was secretly following me many times, but because I was in the provincial capital, the other party had no chance to make a move. Since arriving in Jiangnan City, this situation has become more frequent, so I suspect that they are very likely to take action before tomorrow's meeting to prevent the purpose of my trip. And this place is the best place to start. I asked you to prepare here in advance. Unexpectedly, my expectation came true. However, Mr. Ye's appearance was unexpected, so you were not allowed to take action immediately." Ah Qing said in confusion. "In that case, why didn't you let Ye Tiance finish interrogating Scarface and instead asked me to kill him? I think that guy must know who is behind the scenes." Rong Meiyan narrowed her eyes slightly and said, "Ha! If you really think you want to kidnap me, Rong Meiyan, then the mastermind behind the scenes will send these rotten fish and shrimps? In my opinion, this action of the other party is more like a test or a warning, so Scarface will not know too much inside information. Besides, Mr. Yi was still here just now, and I don't want him to know too much and get him involved." Ah Qing said unwillingly, "But the enemy treats you like this, and you just let it go? Ha! How can you just let go of something that offends me, Rong Meiyan?" Speaking of this, Rong Meiyan's eyes flashed with coldness. He ordered, "Although Scarface is dead, his personal information can still be found. From this aspect, we can still find key clues by following the clues. By the way, the most trustworthy people must be used during the investigation, especially don't mention this matter to Huang Zhen and his men." Ah Qing nodded, frowned and said, "Miss, you think Huang Zhen and others may have the second master's spy, so?" Rong Meiyan did not answer this question. Instead, he smiled and changed the subject and asked, "You just saw Mr. Ye's skills. How do you evaluate it?" Ah Qing curled his lips and said, "I'm just trying to make ends meet. Anyway, compared to that Jiangnan god of war, I'm still far behind." Even so, but in fact, the moment she was caught by Ye Tiance in the woods just now. Although it only lasted for 2 seconds, she felt as if she was being targeted by a murderous beast. Can't break free. Thinking back on it now, I still feel heart palpitating. At the same time, there was a big tree in the distance that neither of them could see. Ye Tiance squatted on a tree branch, holding a piece of fir grass in his mouth, and narrowed his eyes slightly. I have seen all their actions. Although the distance was too far, I couldn't hear what they were saying, and I couldn't see the sniper's face clearly, but Ye Tiance still discovered that the sniper was actually the woman's subordinate. She didn't want Scarface to tell the truth. As for the panic and fear that the woman showed in front of him just now, it was actually all disguised. Good guy. Behind this kidnapping, it seems that it is far more simple than what appears on the surface, and it involves many things. TSK. She really has a lot of tricks in the city. You should stay away from this woman in the future. She is really unpredictable. Besides, it's none of my business. It's better not to get involved." Ye Tiance sighed with emotion, climb down from the tree, land on the battery car, and ride away directly. Jiangnan City, Wulong Manor. Han Tian was sitting on the sofa, rubbing his temples, looking slightly sad. Because just now, he received news from the Ji family. Ji Wuli plans to establish a business alliance in Jiangnan City. After winning the Rong family partners, many resources and benefits will be shared within the alliance. Therefore, he warmly invited various wealthy businessmen and dignitaries in Jiangnan City to join the alliance. This was originally a good thing for all parties. Ji Wuli added an outrageous condition. That is, anyone who joins a business alliance must hand over 1,000 million in cash as a franchise fee. The nice thing to say is the franchise fee. The bad thing is the protection money given to the Ji family. Although this was an obvious way to get money, these wealthy businessmen and dignitaries could only dare to be angry but dare not speak out. No way, who made the Ji family the official partner of the Rong family in the provincial capital. In the face of absolute power, if you don't join, you will only be abandoned by this era. Han Tianjing sighed and said, "Oh, not long ago, my Han family was one of the 3 major families in Jiangnan City along with the Ji family. Now I can only live behind others and be the younger brother, being slaughtered by others. It's really frustrating." Although 1,000 million is not a huge amount of money for Han Tianjing, the richest man. But this psychological gap made him unable to accept it. Furthermore, based on his understanding of Ji Wuli, he knew that this person was sinister and cunning. Even if you successfully join the business alliance and continue to cooperate for a long time, it is tantamount to seeking the skin of a tiger. You may be bitten back at any time, and in the end there will be no bones left. But if we don't agree to join the business alliance, our Han family will definitely be isolated or even targeted. The end result will not be much better. What should we do? At this time, Han Ruoyun came down from upstairs wearing pink pajamas and holding a glass of milk. "Dad, you're still up so late. Aren't you going to attend the business meeting tomorrow?" "I'm not sleepy yet." Han Tianjing suddenly remembered something and said with some displeasure, "I gave you 2,000 million to break off the relationship with Ye Tiance, but that guy actually bid with me at yesterday's birthday party." "How outrageous!" Han Ruoyun was speechless and said, "Dad, why are you talking about this 2,000 million? I gave this money to Ye Tiance at the beginning, and he didn't ask for it at all. The 2,000 million at the birthday banquet yesterday was his own." "What?" Han Tianjing's eyes widened with shock on his face. "You must know that he was at the birthday party yesterday and personally exposed the origin of Ye Tiance's 2,000 million, saying that the money belonged to their Han family. It turned out to be Ye Tiance's own." "Go ahead, this is too embarrassing." Han Tianjing couldn't believe it and said, "Ye Tiance's family is in decline, and he is the son-in-law who was kicked out by the Xiao family. How can he have 2,000 million? Han Ruoyun pouted and said, "Huh. That guy is so smooth-talking, he must have gotten it from a rich woman." When she mentioned this, she thought of Ye Tiance flirting with that charming woman at the entrance of the hospital yesterday. "I just feel irritable for no reason, it turns out it's because of the rich woman." Han Tianjing regained his composure and said, "No matter what, don't interact with him again. Not only did this bastard offend the Ji family at yesterday's birthday party, but he also deceived Mr. Lin's family, causing Mr. Lin to become critically ill, and was finally killed. Deputy Director Wang has arrested him, and he is probably going to die." Han Ruoyun rolled his eyes and said, "Dad. Are you from a 2G internet cafe? Who told you that Ye Tiance was bound to die? He obviously treated Grandpa Lin yesterday and was invited as a guest by Uncle Lin's family, right? What the hell?" This time, Han Tianjing was so shocked that he stood up from the sofa, his scalp numb. "Yunyun, are you kidding me?" Han Ruoyun said seriously, "How can I have the time to joke with you? The thing is like this." She told Han Tianjing everything about Ye Tiance's treatment of Lin Yuanxuan twice. After hearing this, Han Tianjing couldn't calm down for a long time. OMG. Ye Tiance actually had such extraordinary abilities and became the first guest in Lin City. If he is a freeloader, then 99% of the people in Jiangnan City are probably worse than trash. Han Tianjing said with emotion, "No wonder my father warned him before he died that the fiancé he chose for Yunyun was a proud man of heaven and could bring great blessings to the Han family. Now it seems that my father is not bullying me. My Han family is going to find a treasure." After hesitating for a moment, he seemed to make a decision. She said seriously to Han Ruoyun, "Daughter, how about you fulfill your engagement with Ye Tiance? Try every means to win over him as soon as possible, and try to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to apply for a marriage certificate as soon as possible and become an official couple." Chapter 90 Invitation Card. I have two. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hear this, Han Ruoyun, who was drinking milk, almost squirted out. "Dad! What are you talking about? How could I marry that bastard Ye Tiance? Although looking at it now, it seems that Ye Tiance is not as useless as the legend says. But this guy took 101 million from that woman in front of her yesterday. He was obviously being kept. Besides, it was used by Xiao Qingcheng for 3 years and was no longer needed. How could she, the dignified young lady of the Han family, accept so many goods? Han Tianzheng said seriously, what's wrong with a good man ordering soft food? In the end, isn't it just to make life easier? It's harmless. Besides, the fact that a rich woman likes him proves that Ye Tiance is extraordinary. This is also true. You see, Ye Tiance is a miracle doctor, and now he has become the first guest in Lin City. If you can marry him, our Han family will not have to hug the Ji family. But, although what he said made sense, Han Ruoyun still felt uncomfortable. Besides, her sweetheart is the big shot behind Master Long. I heard that Miss Rome will invite him to the meeting tomorrow, and I will have the opportunity to meet him then. Isn't it much better than that guy Ye Tiance who is not doing anything right? Han Tianzheng said tentatively, daughter, just think about it. Han Ruoyun pouted and said, I won't consider it. If you want to marry, go marry Ye Tiance yourself. Anyway, I, Han Ruoyun, will not marry Ye Tiance even if I don't eat and starve to death, even if I jump from the building. Humph. After saying these words, Han Ruoyun went upstairs angrily. Alas! This child. Han Tianzheng sighed helplessly and sat back on the sofa. He said helplessly, once the business meeting ends tomorrow, the Ji family will definitely unite everyone to cut off Ye Tiance's way out. Dad, if you have a soul in heaven, can you tell me what choice I should make? The next afternoon, Hongfeng Villa, this is the largest and most luxurious resort in Jiangnan City. It has a variety of top-notch leisure and entertainment facilities, including accommodation, leisure, conferences, catering, etc. It is said that Hongfeng Villa has a mysterious background and is very powerful, so its security facilities are impeccable. That's why Rong Meiyan chose to hold her business meeting here. And the Red Maple Villa is reserved, so uninvited guests cannot enter. Ye Tiance came here more than an hour early. After the security personnel at the door checked the invitation card, Ye Tiance entered Hongfeng Villa, walking on the tree-lined path and looking at the blue sky can't help but feel relaxed and happy. In his pocket, there was also a marriage certificate to Rong Meiyan. I hope that when I see Rong Meiyan today, the process of cancelling the engagement will be smoother. After a while, Ye Tiance walked to a horse farm. The entire racecourse covers an area of more than 10 acres with neat lawns, providing guests with horse riding activities. Since the meeting had not yet begun, there were some handsome men and beautiful women riding horses in the racecourse. There was constant laughter. Ye Tiance planned to take one look and leave. Suddenly a strange voice sounded, hey! How did I find that no matter where I go, you, a country bumpkin, will follow me? What qualifications do you have to come into this Red Maple Villa? Ji Boduan walked towards him with a bad look on his face. Next to Ji Boduan were 2 women, Xiao Qingcheng and assistant Sunday. Today, Xiao Qingcheng wore a pure white evening dress. The close-fitting design of the dress outlined her graceful figure, and the just-right tailoring made her figure even more perfect. As soon as he appeared, he attracted countless eyes around the racecourse. Ye Tiance quickly looked away from Xiao Qingcheng. Ji Boduan responded calmly, how do you know I'm not qualified to come in? This sentence directly amused Ji Bo. He sneered and said, the person named Yi is only eligible to come in today if you have an invitation card from the meeting. You want identity but no status, you want status but no status, and you can't even get an invitation card. How can you be qualified to come in? Thinking of the slap and humiliation suffered by Ye Tiance yesterday, Ji Boduan became very angry. He happened to meet Ye Tiance here again today, so he naturally wanted to take action. Assistant Sun echoed, that's right, did you know that the celebrities here today are either business tycoons with a net worth of more than 1 million, or important officials in the political arena, so you are worthy enough to come in? Xiao Qingcheng sighed helplessly. In fact, Ye Tiance's identity as a jade carving master was revealed yesterday, which surprised her so much that he even let her sleep without food after returning home. She wondered if Ye Tiance had really changed and was not as bad as she thought. But today I took another look, he is still the same as before, without any change. Face doubts, Ye Tiance looked calm and said, isn't it just an invitation card? I have it. Ji Boduan shook his head and sneered, you kid is really good at poking your nose into your face. Okay, you said you have an invitation card, show it to us all quickly. If you can't show it, I will ask the staff to let you go get lost. Correct. You don't know what an invitation card looks like, right? I'll give you a sample first. As he spoke, Ji took out a red invitation card from his pocket, he held it up to Ye Tiance's eyes and shook it very showily. On the front of the invitation card, there is information about the organizer such as the Rong Family Meeting Chamber of Commerce invitation card, below is Rong Meiyan's autograph and a number, the Arabic numeral 6 is written on this card. The group of handsome men and women around the racecourse couldn't help but exclaimed when they saw this invitation card. Wow! It's actually the invitation card numbered 6. As expected of the Ji family, our invitation card number is only 41. Our family number is 53. Wait, what does this number mean? You don't know. This number actually represents the important order of the invited guests this time. The more important the guest, the higher the number is. According to legend, those who can rank in the top 5 can only be the top bosses in Jiangnan City like City Chief Lin, Master Long, and Master Hu. So the Ji family's ability to get the number 5 invitation card is enough to prove that the Rong family respects them. Take it seriously. In this way, it is definitely confirmed that the Ji family will become the business partner of the Rong family today. Listen to everyone's praise and discussion. Ji Boduan's face became even more proud, he laughed and said, Yi, please show us your invitation card quickly. If your number is 250. That would be funny. Ha ha ha, the rest of the people present also burst into laughter. Xiao Qingcheng looked helpless, she didn't understand why Ye Tiance always did these things that were asking for trouble. Ye Tiance was surprisingly calm, he took out an invitation card from his pocket and showed it to everyone. Is this the invitation card you're talking about? Ji Boduan, who was originally feeling proud, immediately turned dull. Ye Tiance's invitation card has the same format and material as his, and even Rong Meiyan's autograph is the same. It's obviously not fake. Look down and see the numbers below the invitation card. Ji Boduan's eyes are almost ready to come out. It's actually the Arabic numeral 2. I go. What's wrong? Not only him, but all the young men and women were shocked. What? It's actually the second-ranked invitation card. What the hell is this? Who is this guy? He is actually worthy of Miss Rong's number 2 invitation card. Before everyone could react from the shock, Ye Tiance took out another invitation card from his pocket and said, I forgot to mention, I actually have 2 invitation cards. When everyone saw this invitation card clearly, the collective was stunned. Scalp tingling. Because the number of this card is actually, number 1.